Yo, what's going on, people? This is Raw and Uncut. And if you're back watching, I hope you've enjoyed the first few little stories that I got. I'm not really getting into too much detail because I got other stuff coming out involving little parts of them, little like snippets, if you will. I really never got into detail about a lot, but I hope you're enjoying what you're hearing so far. I'm going to be touching on all kinds of stuff. It's not just going to be deep and dark. It'll be funny, as you'll see right now, as I'm going to give you a part three of the episode from yesterday, which was the Rawkhouse. And I had two parts. Really, this thing, the Rawkhouse, could go on forever. It might have its own segment, you know what I mean, where today we talk about something else that happened in the dope house at the spot. You know what I mean? We had many dope houses after that, one after another, you know what I mean? And so we're going to get into this. I'm going to give you guys a little story about one of the funniest things that happened to me being involved over here off of McKinley and West at that one dope spot, the first dope spot that I ever was involved with when I met the dude that was sleeping at the park. And they brought him in there to take care of Freddie's side. And then, Juan and him had to bounce for a little bit. Juan got caught in Mexico at the border. Freddie was laying low. And me and Javier, the little bicep dude, homie and shit, we started doing our own thing. But see, when we were in the dope house at that house, we were there for about 40 days before it got really, really hot. It just was a periodical thing. It was just like after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, we had everybody coming in there. Like my brother-in-law and Freddie, they knew everybody from pimps, hoes, everyday working people, lawyers, just everything all around the board that bought dope. And see, there would be some guys that had good jobs, like office jobs, and they didn't do dope, but they knew the hookers over here on the other side of Motel Drive did dope. And if they rolled up with some dope and said, hey, you know what? I want to whatever, they could get the bitch to do whatever they wanted for that dope. So we had a lot of different clientele there to your average, everyday, just dirty fucking crackhead motherfuckers. But everybody and their mama was doing it. And the homie Javier, he was a virgin, which I was too. I had girlfriends and stuff, but at that time I was scared of sex. I was scared of sex because Magic Johnson was like my favorite basketball player. And then what was it, like 91 or 1990? I forget. Or it might have been 92 when he came out that he had AIDS. So, you know what I mean? I really didn't care to be with any chicks at the time. I was a youngster still, 15 on going on 16. I had homies that had kids already and shit like that. I was about money. And that's the reason why a lot of my homies from Mexico that I hooked up with from different states that I did business with through the years, when I was involved in it for all them years, 20 plus years. The reason why they fucked with me and fucked with me from the beginning was because I was the only, they would call me El Cholillo. I was like the only dude that they knew from the street that didn't drink and didn't smoke. And I drove. I knew how to drive. I didn't have a license yet, but I knew how to drive, and I looked like a white boy. And they used me to, drive them around and drop off dope and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I don't mean use me like made me. I volunteered to do it, and I made money doing it. And eventually, that's how I started my own delivery business back in the late '90s, early 2000s, and through the 2000s and stuff like that. But back to the story that I'm getting to, because I'm getting kind of sidetracked here. Javier was a horny little dude, man. This dude was about 5'1", 5'2". They used to call him El Maceton. He was from Monterrey, Nuevo León, but the other paisa carnales, the other paisa homies used to joke about him and call him El Maceton, and they used to say he was a Oaxaca, and he would get mad, and they'd be telling him, man, it's Oaxaqueño, no way, fuck you, soy de. He'd say, a la verga, güey, yo soy de Monterrey, Monterrey, Nuevo León, and mi jefe es de Veracruz. Yo soy mexicano, güey, de Monterrey. And then the motherfuckers will be like, you're from, güey, no anda echando mentira, güey. Tú eres de Oaxaca, güey. And he would get mad because I guess typically, the whole saying is that if you're from Oaxaca, you're probably short and dark. And a lot of the Oaxaqueños that I met were, but they were all cool. I met homies from all over the different states, man. They laced me up. They're the ones who got me in the game and taught me. And anyways, during this time when we were up in the house, me and Javier working for Freddie and Juan before everything went bad, and The feds came looking, for them because they knew they were back in the country and shit like that. While we were there, Javier, all he cared about, I mean, of course, was getting his money, but on the days, first it started like this. Okay, the first night we were there, he wasn't real talkative. He was just sitting on the sofa, quiet. I had the dope, I had the pistol, and I had the money, and he's just watching. And so people are knocking. My brother-in-law told me, hey, people are gonna come knocking. They're all of our clients. You guys just serve them. There's a bunch of different people. If you have a problem, call us. We'll be here, whatever. So it's just cracking. Motherfuckers are just knocking. They're coming in 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 20, 20, 10, 10, 20, just constant, man. Fucking, you know how the dope houses. They call them trap houses now. This was a dope house. This was a drive-through, walk-in drive-through center. You know what I'm saying? You come through. I mean, they show that fucking New Jack City shit. We did that in the street. We didn't have no, this ain't the East Coast. We didn't have no motherfucking Carter. We just had blocks. And we did it, through blocks. So everybody was doing it. So you're making money from all over the place, but all these people just coming in and out. Well, Javier, he was checking out some of the females that were coming in. Not everybody was like all beat up and missing teeth, crackheads. There was a couple of those, but most of them were, it was kind of new to them still. The crackheads weren't all worn out yet. So you see young girls like in their 20s and 30s, real good looking girls, nice bodies and everything coming in, buying 20, buying 30, buying 40, coming with their dude smoking or selling their ass with a pimp, smoking. And you're like, wow, you're like, damn, this shit's got everybody. But Javier, this fool was a horny fucking bastard. He saw it as his way. In Mexico, he was never going to get nothing. But here now he had access to women. So the first night there, he's, making conversation here and there, time, oh, you think any of these girls will do something for this? I'm like, I'm sure they would, bro, but I'm not going to do it, I'm scared, basically. I'll keep it real. I was like, I'm scared. I don't want to get AIDS. I'm making money, bro. If you want to fuck these crackhead bitches, go ahead. And when he started, we were there already maybe like 2 weeks. Remember, he's living there. He never leaves. I leave. So I don't know what's going on when I'm leaving, but when I'm coming back, I'm noticing a change. There's a chick in the bedroom. He's got her there. And I'm like, who's in the room, bro? When I got there, he's like, oh, I got some girl. I've been fucking her or whatever. I paid her a 20 and a 20, and now I've had her here, this and that. And he's telling me how fine she is or whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool, bro. I ain't tripping. It's my day at work. I'm working. And I'm doing my thing. He's in the room, and this motherfucker is just tagging. He's tagging. He's only coming out every once in a while just to check and make sure everything's good. He's basically not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So the chick comes out, and we know who she is. Like, I know who she is because I've served her. Her name was Tiffany. She's a Mexican girl. She's a pretty chick, and dude had her in there, and he was just all sprung on her, dude. And I think Tiffany was like 19 or 19, 20. And he's all sprung, whatever. But this was his theme. Periodically, as we went on in the 3 weeks forward, he's any bitch that was coming in there for a while there. After like we were there for like about 3 weeks, and he got more comfortable with people and with me and everything. Every bitch that walked through that motherfucking door, if she was our age, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, that fool was fucking every fucking female hooker and bitch that wanted to trade sex for dope that came in through that door. He was taking them to the room. And then that became a problem because I told my brother-in-law about it. My brother-in-law's like, well, he's replacing the dope with money, so I'm not worried about it. But he's supposed to be working, and I'm supposed to be doing that on the job. If he wants to do it after you guys are done, he can do whatever he wants. And I didn't want to rat the dude out, but he was, I kind of kept it on the unders. And that's why after my brother-in-law had to bounce to Mexico and got arrested at the border, and then Freddie had to lay low. That's why me and Javier, we remained tight because I didn't tell my brother-in-law everything he was doing, because I didn't want to create problems there. And we're making good money. I didn't want problems already in everybody's making money, everybody's doing well, you know what I mean? And I didn't want them to kind of fucking have a rift over that. So I just kept my mouth shut about it and didn't say nothing. After I mentioned it to my brother-in-law the first time, I didn't say nothing because Javier kept doing it. And I was like, fuck it, it is what it is. I ain't gonna say nothing. But me and Javier got tight. But this fool fucked everything in sight. So about a week before we left the house, the dope house, and went to the tracks to serve, when all that shit blew up, when the feds came looking for my brother-in-law, Freddie, knew they came back from Mexico after they got deported and released from jail, whatever, all this shit. He fucking came to me one day when I went over there early in the day with my brother-in-law, and I wasn't gonna work at that night. My brother-in-law was just gonna go because it was real hot and they didn't want to end up losing no dope or no money. So he was trying to send the customers to other places. He had got another dope spot closer to the hood where we were living, and we were trying to take customers back and forth. So we went over there in the daytime to kind of cut them off if they were coming around. And I'm sitting outside. My brother-in-law goes into the apartment where Javier is, because he stays there, right? He don't leave. He don't ever leave. And my brother-in-law comes out like 5 minutes later, and he's got the dude with him. And the dude, Javier's just got a weird. I haven't seen him maybe since the night before last. He's got a weird look on his face. He's like defeated. He's sweating and shit. It's summertime, and my brother-in-law comes up to me and he's laughing. He's like, "Hey, wait." I said, "What?" He goes, "Puedes llevar güey a la pinche clínica?" And I go, "What?" And that's how my brother-in-law talked. He's a real straight up dude. He didn't really no nonsense type of guy, old school military style dude. Uh, and I was like, again, way. He said, al pinche Miguel, way, pinche macetón, Javier. And I go, ¿para qué? And he goes, pues ven pa' acá, way. So Javier's coming walking around the car. I'm sitting in the passenger side. We're in the 74 glass house, and I'm in the passenger side. He comes walking around, and he peeks in through the window, and I'm looking. I'm like, ¿qué onda, way? And I said, what's up? And he goes, no, way, ando bien cateado, way. No mames, way. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this motherfucker? So my brother-in-law starts laughing. He goes, no, este güey le está tirando. I said, ¿le está tirando qué? He goes, dile, güey. Like, Miguel didn't want to tell me, Javier didn't want to tell me what was going on. He's like, no, están saliendo unos granitos ahí en la verga, güey, me duele. Oh, shit. I looked at him, I go, what the fuck? No, güey, no te estoy mintiendo, güey, hijo de la verga. Me salieron unos pinches granitos, güey, me duele mucho y ando rascando. I was like, God damn, bro. And I said, see, that's why I don't fuck with no, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? And when he was taking these bitches to the room, he's like, hey, he's taking black girls, Asians, whatever was coming. Big, fat, skinny. So he didn't discriminate. If this motherfucker was like, he was like the bad credit for sex or some shit. If somebody wanted to, bone and didn't, and maybe they look ugly or whatever, it don't even matter. Come to this motherfucker, he'll do it. He don't care. If a chick is ugly, whatever, or she's fine, or she's big, she's short, she's skinny, she's fat, this motherfucker boned them all. So now he's telling me that he's got some shit growing on him. And my brother-in-law's asking me if I could take him to the clinic. And I said, I don't even know where the clinic is, bro. And my brother-in-law's like, I know where it's at. It's over here. So, if you want, go drop me off at home and then you could take him. And I said, all right. And then he goes, espérame. He goes, Robert, espérame. And Javier goes inside. He goes, Javier's like, voy a ir a cambiar, güey, me echar un pinche baño y nos vamos, güey, porque no mames, güey. He's like, he wanted to get rid of this, right? Obviously, he had some type of, I didn't know at the time what he had, but we found out a little while later, I'll tell you that. He goes inside, he goes to get ready. My brother-in-law's like, espérame, Robert. I said, all right. He goes, espérame. And he goes walking around the corner to the Esquire Liquor. They used to have the little phone booth out there. And he goes to make a phone call. And he comes back around, about 10 minutes later, and he's just laughing. And he's laughing and laughing. And my brother-in-law's laughing. And I'm like, hey, ¿qué tienes, güey? ¿Por qué te ríes? He's like, no, ni te lo vas a creer, ni te lo vas a creer. And I said, what? He goes, el pinche Celso. Celso is a dude that came from his ranch, a homie of his that just came from his ranch all the way to Fresno, was staying in the motels right there. But he used to call him as mi paisa because they're from the same ranch, from the same state, right? As mi paisa. That's where the terminology paisa came from first. Us growing up, when we called another homie a paisa, that was love. It was love, but somehow, somewhere around some way, it turned into a derogatory word towards folks from Mexico, men from Mexico. Oh, that's a fucking paisa or whatever. Like, we never meant it in a bad way. That was, I heard it amongst all the homies there, all the paisa homies calling each other, hey, ¿qué onda, mi paisano, eres mi paisano, like that. But yeah, so my brother-in-law, he comes telling me about Celso. Is a paisano, mi pinche paisa Celso. Celso was about 17 too, and he was fucking all the hookers on Motel Drive as well. He said he called Celso because he remembered that Celso told him the other day that he was having trouble peeing, that when he went to go pee, it was burning, and he didn't know what was wrong with him. And he was telling Celso that he needed to go to the clinic, but he's like, no, I don't want to go. This fool's embarrassed. So he calls over there to the motel room to see if Celso's okay. And he said, no, that motherfucker's pissing flames out and he needs to go to the doctor. And he says, all right, well, Robert's taken, el Robert ya va a llevar el pinche macetón, te vayas con ellos. Ahorita vamos a ir para la casa, me va a tirar allá en la casa y luego va a llevar el macetón. He's like telling him, I'm going to go throw him at the house and I'm going to take Javier to the clinic. So if he wants to hurry up and get over there, because he just stays on the other side of the tracks and the motel's right there, to hurry up and get over there and that he can ride with us to go drop my brother-in-law off, and then I'll take them both to the motherfucking clinic. So yes, both of these motherfuckers got something going on there. That fool rolls up, and him, man, if you ever seen the looks on people's faces when they got like some kind of sexually transmitted disease, it's the most fucked up look. The only look I saw was fucking Javier's like this, güey, no mames, güey, hijo de la verga, pinche puta, hijo de la verga. I said, what the fuck happened, bro? He said he knew which one it was. And I told him, bro, you're fucking every bitch that comes in there. How do you even know which one it is? Yo sé, güey, yo sé. He said, a pinche, I don't want to say it, but he said it was a girl that did it. And that when he went up in her, she smelled like seafood. And he didn't give a fuck. He went anyway. So yeah. And the other dude, he said he didn't even know he'd been fucking too many fucking hookers, and they were all black girls. That's all he said. Because the homie Celso had a thing for black hookers. He wanted to fuck black women. That was Celso. And so he got some. So I run them both down to the motherfucking clinic downtown Fresno, California, in the 74 Glass House. And guess what I got in the motherfucking tape player as I'm rolling down Fresno Street, coming from Hawaiian Gardens, Palm Gardens, Hawaiian Gardens out there by First and Clinton area, Angus and Weldon area, rolling down Fresno Street, and I got the motherfucking Penthouse Players Click, Paid the Cost album, and it's in full fucking effect. And when that already before they were in the car, I was driving the car back and forth to work, right? And that's in the tape player when me and my brother-in-law pulled up to go see what was up with Javier and try to get some of the clients over to the new spot. And it's stuck on that one song, Rolling in the Pimp Lane. So I got that song as I'm taking them down to the clinic. It's just playing in the speakers. And I'm looking at both of these motherfuckers and I'm like, these motherfuckers were rolling in the simp lane. And they got burnt. So I run them down there. I told them they're bilingual in there. They just go in there. They don't even ask no questions. They just told them what was up. They did an examination. About 45 minutes later, both those motherfuckers come out. They got motherfucking prescriptions, and they said they gave him a shot. And Javier had gonorrhea, and he kept calling it goronea. Tengo goronea, güey, goronea. What the fuck's gonorrhea, motherfucker? Gonorrhea, not gonorrhea. Oh, it's goronea, güey. I said gonorrhea. He was calling it goronea. And fucking Celso had to clap as well. He had chlamydia. And so Celso had chlamydia, and this motherfucker, no, güey, no, me está saliendo unos pinches granitos de la verga, güey, no mames, güey. So they were all both very grateful that I drove them to the motherfucking clinic so they could get whatever they needed for their fucking sexual transmitted diseases that they had. Both got from fucking every woman in that motherfucking area. And I just thought it was funny, that I happened to be driving them around in a 74 fucking white glass house with a burgundy interior, bumping Penthouse Players Click, Paid the Cost. I think I heard about every song that day, front to back, flipping the tape over, auto flip, driving them fools out of there. We went to go get some food. They were happy, so we went to go get some food, some tacos and shit. Then I fucking drove them, dropped them off. I went home and did my little thing over there at the Hawaiian Gardens, just some family stuff. But that was part 3 of the Rawkhouse. And if there's any more stories of the Rawkhouse, I'll just keep adding them. I mean, there is more, but that was just one. I thought that'd be funny to lighten up the mood a little bit, because I know these other First few episodes have been kind of dark, and I'm not on that energy. I'm not gonna stay there. We're gonna go all over the place. This is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we got a bunch of stuff coming up. And another thing I want to tell you guys, like we keep incense lit around here. I like to keep the energy just really, the vibe really smooth and calm and peaceful. And there's this motherfucking incense right here. I don't know if you guys have these. There's this incense right here. This oh man, it smells really, really good. It smells really, really good. You should try some. If you find them, if you can get them, go get them. But yeah, that's my part three of the Rock House. And I'll have more parts to the Rock House, but we're not gonna go like right next, right into it after today's video. Like the video tomorrow won't be a part, 5 of the Rock House or 4 of the Rock House. It'll be on another subject, and we're just gonna bounce around back and forth. There's no linear pathway here to where I'm going. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be bouncing around. Like the way Goodfellas does stuff, they bounce around in years. That's what I'm doing. I'm not telling a straight out story like that. I'm bound. There's so much to talk about. We got to bounce around in years, you know what I mean? And to get most of it. And yeah, if there's something that you would like to say, you want to comment, or you got a question, just go ahead and drop it in the goddamn comments right there. I appreciate those that are watching. I appreciate those that are paying attention, and nothing but love. And I'm gonna have more coming. And there's going to be one coming down the road. We're going to call it What's the Deal? What's the Deal? It'll be called What's the Deal? That'll be a couple episodes away. But yeah, that one's going to knock your motherfucking socks off, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one, everybody. Peace.